So Momo, it's amazing that we're learning so much, and that's how we are essentially taking something that was mythical and making it into magical science. Now, interesting thing is, now we have had 100,000 plus people that have taken the test. As these people are coming along, what have we learned, and where do you go from here?
Yeah. First, let me say that instead of calling it a magical science, let's call it objective science. It's very objectified. So today, when a customer provides their stool sample to Viome, there are no opinions, there are no people's experiences, there are no anecdotes. What happens is the data from the poop sample are actually fed into machine-learned algorithms, and they produce personalized diet recommendations. It's 100% objective. There's no human involvement, so that's great. Okay, now that we've analyzed all of these samples from all of our customers, and most importantly from our clinical research studies, we can now start to see and form very objective ideas of what these chronic diseases actually are. And so, for example, let's take depression. No one really understands today what causes depression. They have found some genes that are correlated with depression, but then those correlations were actually refuted. So genetics doesn't seem to play a role in depression at all. And so currently there are many medications that treat depression, but no one really understands or tries to understand the root cause. It turns out that based on a lot of data that we've gathered, we can actually determine whether someone has depression or not with 85% accuracy just based on the stool test analysis, right?
I'm going to repeat yourself. You're telling me just by looking at my poop, you can tell me if I have a depression?
If you're depressed with 85% accuracy,
wow,
without knowing you or seeing you. So the determinants of depression are not some magic. It's not something abstract. It's literally the biochemicals produced by the gut microbiome, or in many cases, lack of chemical production by the gut microbiome. And so now that we understand what we call a disease signature, right? We understand what the gut microbiome of people with depression is producing that healthy people's gut microbiome is not producing. And then very importantly, what is the gut microbiome of depressed people not producing that in healthy people it is producing. Now we can use those mathematical and chemical equations to actually personalize the diets and try to reverse and prevent depression. And we're going to do that in clinical studies where we're going to show efficacy of this approach, where we're going to recommend personalized diets to people and compare the efficacy of personalized diets versus placebo in a clinical trial format.
So Momo, what I'm hearing from you is that you are now able to not only understand that somebody has depression, now that you know what makes the depressed people depressed, you can prevent it, but moreover, you can actually reverse it now.
Exactly. We are going to demonstrate that in a prospective clinical study, but yes, I'm very convinced that we can do this because we can manipulate the biochemical output of people's gut microbiome by either providing them with certain foods or denying their gut microbiome certain other foods.
But is it just depression, or could it be applied to other diseases?
Every single chronic disease that we've had enough people participate in these studies for, we have found this sort of a signature. So for now, we're very focused on the big four diseases. So these are depression and IBS and obesity and diabetes. So these four chronic diseases make up more than 50% prevalence in the world's population. So more than 50% of the people suffer from one of these four diseases. And we have very strong biochemical signatures in the stool of people with this disease. And now we're going to address those at the biochemical level and try to reverse them and or prevent them.